used to use it as a way to eat our money, actually. So it sort of went under in 2006. Yeah. So I was a member, but after that, we let it go. So what I'd like to speak about today, okay, your theme was an engineer with a passion, with a life. Of course, I've already said don't want to speak about passion for what you do, related to engineering. I did electrical and electronics engineering here. We graduated in 2010. Now, what happens is that when we start here in first year, some people know what they are doing, why they are here, some don't know. And some of them do engineering because someone else told them that it's a good course or it's a marketable course. But the problem comes in that engineering is not easy, it's hard. So don't ever let anyone cheat you that it's easy, that's the fact, it's hard. But unless you're willing to take that time to actually do what you want to do, you'll never get anywhere. Because most of these things take a passion, take a love. It takes love for what you want to do. We have some few slides there, but don't focus on them too much because it contains very little information. Now, someone called Harvey McKay had a quote. He said that a mediocre person tells, a good person explains, a superior person demonstrates, a great person inspires others to see for themselves. I hope that will inspire you guys to see for yourselves why engineering is good. So basically that's what I want to talk about. You live and live once and you have to live it effectively. When, as I've said, when people come to campus, most of the time you don't know what you want. For me, when I was young, I wanted to be a game warden. My father used to be an economist at the Ministry of Tourism. So I used to enjoy the traveling all over, within, without. So I wanted to be a game warden. I didn't know what it was or what it meant. After that, when I got to high school, where I went in Form 1, when you join Form 1, you'd be taken to a class based on how you performed in KCPE and based on your strengths in the specific subjects. So there used to be computers, music, agriculture, things like that. So for me, I landed in a class that we were doing electricity. And I liked it from the beginning. You know, those circuit boards used to look like very neat cities. And in those days, Nairobi used to be very dirty. You know, nowadays it's better, but these days it used to be quite bad. So we loved it, kabisa. Can move fast. Basically, that's where all of us start. Life is just a blank page. That's where we start. When a child is born, you don't know how they will turn up. It takes time. And it's scientifically proven that once a child is past 9 years old, it's very hard to change their nature. You can try, but it will be very difficult to change the way they are. So, my attitude is to fill your mind and life with things that are worthwhile. And the things that are worthwhile are what the kind of things that you're passionate about. If you're doing engineering because you love it, that's a good place to start. Because with time, I know the guys in 4th year or 5th year, by now you're discovering there are things that are either in the world and you've never seen them in class, you've never been taught anywhere, but when you go out in the industry, you are supposed to know them, or you are required to know them. Or when you go to interviews, you ask things and you don't know how to answer or how to go about it. So fill your life with things that are important, things that are worthwhile. Can move to the, yeah. Those are the kind of questions students have. A lot of things that fill your mind. You know? Things to do with money, your life, relationships, classwork, lab reports. Yeah, we used to have like, how many? In electrical engineering, we are doing, it is 8 units per semester. And we would rejoice when you have 2 maths units per semester, simply because it means a reduction of 1 hour for the sem per week. So it used to be nice. You know, our classes used to start from 7 to 7, and it's only one day, on Monday, that the classes would start at 8. And there were times when we had classes on Saturdays afternoon.
What?
So And it is here, by the way, when what? Here. So I'm not talking about any other place, just here. So there are times when it used to be like that. And you have to worry about where you get money, how you feed yourself. For me, by there, I was supporting myself through campus. I was working throughout. I cleared high school in 2003. My dad had passed on. So what happened is that I had to find ways of sustaining myself throughout. So I started working in 2004. There was a friend of mine, he's a lecturer at University of Nairobi, works in economics. What I used to do is I would go there when I'm free, do for him his notes, the kind of research. He was doing his PhD then. That was from 2004 to 2008. So I used to help him do his research, things like that. And it was in economics, I was doing engineering. So you have to sit down and learn those things. But the advantage is that with the time, all these things come into your career and you never know when you'll need them. For example, like right now, the kind of systems we design, things like this, the PCB boards, electronic systems, control security systems, all that requires you to look at the economic perspective of all of them. And that's why in first year you guys do economics. Or they removed it. Yeah, you do economics in first year. It's because you have to look at the economic perspective of everything you are doing. How worthwhile is it in the real sense, in the real world? And you see, the thing is that you cannot design something just for hype, to make you feel good and leave it at that. Because at the end of the day, the main purpose of engineering, the actual definition of an engineer is someone who is supposed to solve design problems. See? And the design problems come in the society. They are what you face on a daily basis. So whatever you are doing, you have to learn how to make it integrate with the general public, things that are acceptable. For example, the example that almost everyone gives is M-Pesa. It was designed to solve a particular need in society, access to banking. And you can see what it did. They didn't have to overmarket it. It actually solved the problem. Another example I'd give is something like the iPhone. When the iPhone came, the notion of people of a smartphone was totally different. It transformed the entire industry. So it is normally said that consumers don't know what they want until they see it. And most of the time it proves to be true. And that's why you see innovations that happen that actually address specific needs that people need end up succeeding even without too much hype. Something like Facebook, connecting with people, things like that, LinkedIn for the professional. And by the way, if you don't have a good LinkedIn profile, please update your profiles. Because the recruiters nowadays, that's what they look at first. They do not go to your Facebook or they do not contact you. By the time you get an email or a request, they've already looked at your profile. See? So ensure you do that. Yeah, so my main thing is plan your life. Saying that it wasn't raining when Noah built the ark. The other drawing is someone being clobbered. It might not look like it, but it's being hit in the head. There was a presentation in 2001 at TD. I hope you guys know about TD. There was a presentation in 2001. I can't remember the professor who was talking, but he was talking about the way education tries to beat creativity out of people. Children are very creative. You can look at the kind of things children 5, 6, 7 years old do and compare them when they are 20, 25. You'll see a very big difference. The reason is that we are taught to follow the formal procedures of things, how things have been known to work. There was an example that was given about a certain lady, I can't remember her name, but she runs one of the best opera training centers in Europe. What happened when she was 5 years old? She was in class and she used to be very fidgety, could not sit still. You know the kids who are always, they hit someone, they run this way, all that. They put a compass when you are going to sit down, things like that. So she used to be like that, and teachers had beaten her over time, and they had gotten tired of her. So the head teacher called her mother and told her that your child is sick. Take her to see a psychologist or a doctor to get help so that she can sit and study. And what happened, the mother heeded the advice, took her to a psychologist. And when they were there after examinations, the doctor sat down with the mother and the girl and told the girl, just wait here, I need to speak to your mother. So they left the room. But when he was leaving, he turned on the music system. And when they were at the door, he told the mother to look at her daughter. So after a few minutes of sitting there, clutching the seat, whatnot, she got up and started dancing. So the doctor told the mother, your daughter is not sick. She's a dancer. Actually, that's the problem. You've been putting her in a place where she's limited from doing what she loves. She has a passion for dancing, but you've been limiting her scope. So the mother took her from that school, took her to training, opera and all that. She's not among the best. She's retired. She's about 64 now. She's retired, but is among the best opera trainers in the world. And it is said that education tries to beat. For example, if we look at our curriculum, okay, a lot of people say 844 is very bad. I partially don't agree with that. Reasons simple. First one of the most basic indicators is after students clear Form 4, ask yourself how many international universities, top international universities, advertise for places in the local papers. Then you'll know why. The reason is that they give you a big scope, and you're supposed to choose from them. But our problem is that we've become too exam-oriented instead of knowledge-oriented, so that we do not have that capability of seeing what is important. Okay. So you need to have a plan, set your own direction. The funny thing is that most people know what they want out of life. They are only lazy to follow it. People will always find a reason to blame someone or something else. Now, if you remember the previous slide, the bare board, that one. To get to that level, you have to sit down and conceptualize. What do you want? See? And it's the same thing about life. What you're passionate about, there is a place you want to get with it. So you have to see where you want to be. Okay? And without being able to see that, you can't get far. So ensure you see what you want to achieve first. And that's the importance of planning your life. Because it's said that if you plan to go nowhere, you will get nowhere. See? And if you don't plan, of course, you'll also not get anywhere. That's why you can move to the next one. Now, you get to a certain level in life where whatever plans you had, you start implementing. Most of the times, one problem by them in Kenya, personally I've noticed, is guys are not patient to actualize their dreams. People want, it's called kill me quick. They want the very fast-paced kind of life. And that is where we go wrong, you see. Because for all this, you have, whatever you planned, you start conceptualizing, and you have to fill useful information in it. If you look at that simple page, initially it was bare. First of all, there was a blank page. You don't have any design. You have to actually get to your own design, then fill it in with what is useful, what you need. For example, like that one, if the place for the LCD, you remove it and put something like the keypad, it won't work. It won't do what it's supposed to do. And most of the time we try to use the wrong tools to do what we want to do. And we have, the problem is that we don't sit down and actually know what we want to do first. So we are supposed to do that. You will start implementing your plans and some things will go wrong along the way. But the thing is, do not give up. Can we move to the next one?